My channel, like and subscribe, hit the bell icon. You'll get updates as soon as I make a video, which I try to do daily on these. As you see, we got a little bit of wet weather here on the East Coast and a little bit up and through Montana, maybe some snow in the higher elevations there, but overall pretty quiet throughout the continental US. Not extremely cold anywhere. There are some colder temps, but it looks like some cold is probably coming, so let's get into it. So here you see our current conditions. You got a low pressure there, low pressure off the east, and some high pressure in the west. Jet stream dipping down a little bit over Illinois and all that. This is the Euro. This is the better model between the Euro and the GFS. The Euro is the better model. As we go into time, this model goes 24 hours at a time. Looks like it goes a little more zonal. You see that low pressure system center head off to the north a little bit. And you see the one on the East Coast here is pretty much opening up and just weakening. Probably going to dissipate. And then we get into a situation where we get high pressure pretty much all over. But you see kind of a dip here in temperatures. So it tells me there might be a little bit of a dip in the jet stream. Maybe some cooler weather in some areas. Same thing here. You got the dip again over Texas. Lessens a little bit, and then you get another trough in the west. It looks like low pressure center here. Looks like another one setting up there. That one doesn't really go anywhere. Maybe a cutoff low situation over the Four Corners region. This is looking next Tuesday. Looks like a big dip in the jet stream there. Then you see the lows finally moving off, headed to the Great Lakes region. With some colder air behind it here. That would be some colder air. Then it ejects off north, starts to head off to the east. High pressure begins to dominate again in the west. So this is November 1st. Again, if you're new here, when you go to these types of situations here, let's go to this one. When you get out to, 10 days, models become pretty unreliable after about 5 days. You're looking about general pattern. Looking at a general pattern. That's why you look at the longer range stuff. All right, so let's look at the actual fronts now and precipitation and all that good stuff. So here we are right now. Let's go 24 hours in advance. You can see some colder air making its way down into the continental U.S. here. And then you see kind of got a situation here where it digs out a little bit. Again, a piece of it gets cut off, but most of the energy stays up to the north. And then it stays up to the north again. You see a little dip out here west. And then you get some more invading colder air. This is the 27th, so next Sunday. Or I'm sorry, this Sunday. So 5 days from now. Looks like some cold is going to set up in the northern states there. It's going to invade the west a little bit, sag south here a little bit throughout the central U.S., and then it kind of retreats. Not too much, but a little bit into here. Real cold air into Montana, over into the Dakotas. No surprise there. And then look at that big invasion. So all the way down into Texas, central U.S., parts of the west. That's going to be some colder air making its way on in. It's going to slide throughout the country. Looks like it's going to head off east. So we saw this in the GFS. We saw the GFS mention this a while back. Now, this is for Friday, November 1st. This is forecast hour 240. Not 100% reliable, but we saw this general pattern on the GFS as well. So we'll just see if this pattern sticks around in the models or not. That'd be some really cold air for parts of the country. So now let's go over to the GFS. GFS runs in 6-hour increments. So you can kind of watch things smaller scale. We'll go through this real quick here. Or not, because my internet doesn't want to work right this minute. Oh, I know what the problem is. This is a brand new model run. It's not ready. So let's go back to the other one. You can see here, got that low pressure center up north. One off the east coast is moving out. Goes pretty quiet throughout the country. A little bit of digging here. Be some cooler air in there. Digs down into Oklahoma. maybe parts of Texas. Excuse me, I'm just getting over a cold. So Gulf moisture, we saw that again. We saw that yesterday, so we see it again today. So it's probably going to happen here. This is this Friday. A little bit of rain coming into the west coast. Seattle probably have a wet weekend, looks like. It's going to be a wet weekend again along the eastern seaboard. Areas that just saw rain from the tropical disturbance come through. Looks like you're going to see it again this weekend. Head up into the Carolinas and straight up into the east coast. See some colder air here coming in. Yeah. So this one wants to advance the cold air a little further south. Then kind of backs off. We'll stop at hour 240. Because that's where the other one ends at, the Euro, and we'll compare them. Almost there, you see the two lows in the country. One over California, one over heading off into the Dakotas here. Oh, go straighten up Montana. That's weird. Okay, so 222. So we're getting pretty close. I just want to see. So here's our 240. Here's our 240. So it's a little more bullish on the Euro than it is the GFS. If you look at this, it goes all the way down into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, up in the Carolinas. But then you look over here. Nah, it doesn't really go down there. It kind of shunts off here. Doesn't dig it out as much. So again, that's what you do. You compare models. And you kind of see, okay, which one might be correct. Alright, as we go forward in time here, again, this is way out there, so we just look at general patterns. See the Seattle's going to get hammered again. Some more rain. You have a low sweeping across the country. Maybe a snowstorm setting up here in parts of the northern states. Another one. This will be a heavier, big snowstorm. Snowstorm, not snowstorm. Big snowstorm for the northern states here. Looks like it's coming across, sagging down a little bit, and leaving some showers behind it. Hooks up with this. Look at that. Look how it. So you got this moisture over here by Texas. Subtropical moisture probably. Let's see where it comes from. Yeah, see, so it's coming off of the eastern Pacific there to Mexico. It's forming. Boom. It connects with this low. Wraps up. So that's a pretty interesting type system. But look at that. Some heavy moisture with it. Probably some severe weather. And then it looks like parts of the northern states are going to get some good snows. Alright, last thing we're going to look at here is temperature anomaly at 2 meters, which is basically on the surface. So cold, 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 really cold, really cold. Look at California staying warm again. Then cold invades central U.S. California stays warm and dry. I'm sure that's not what they want to see. Texas, cool. Oklahoma, cool. Then look at the west. Heat up there. And when I say heat up, I don't mean like it's going to be 80 degrees. I just mean it's going to be a little warmer than average. You see Texas is staying cool, parts of Louisiana. Then look at this. So you go from being warm, you can watch it get shunted. Pushed down, pushed down, pushed down as more colder air comes from the north. You see a large part of the country is pretty cool at this part other than, you know, Four Corners region, Nevada, California, and then along the eastern seaboard. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So you can tell higher pressure, lower pressure, higher pressure. That'd be a big cool down for a large part of the country. But you see the big temperature swings out west. I shouldn't say big, but temperature swing, getting a little warmer. And then you see another little warm up. So again, you're way out in time. But that's gonna do it for this episode, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's gonna be an active weather week, not extremely active, but I think this is the best way to just kind of look at your week and say, okay, what's coming up? You know, you can go right here and say we got some rain up north, the east coast. You know, that's already moved on out. This is about where it's at right now. It's moving on out. So if you live on the east coast, the rain will be ending by later in the week, next day or so. and then pretty quiet overall. But when the weekend comes, you can see the moisture for the Gulf of Mexico coming up. It's going to be a wet weekend in the southeastern states. It's going to be a wet weekend in the northwest, parts of the northwest. That system stays pretty far north, so down in Oregon you may be okay. Portland might be okay, but Seattle looks like you're going to see some rain. Eastern seaboard, sorry, you're going to have more rain. It's going to be another rainy weekend. Some snow up into Montana, Idaho, Intermountain West region there. So that's kind of your weekend forecast there. End of the week, into the weekend. And this low pressure center hopefully will get out of here Monday. And then pretty quiet to start the work week. A little bit of snow in the northern states. So that's kind of your quick little forecast there for you guys. Again, if you're new here, just subscribe, like, hit the bell icon. I'll let you know when I post a video. It'll just send you an email. Have a great day, everyone. Take care.